science period, chapter 11, transportation in animals and plants. So it's the fourth part of it. So we were in the circulatory system of human beings. In case you missed our last three periods, the topic that we have already taken up is the introduction of the circulatory system. We discussed about the blood, its cells, blood vessels, and in the last period we discussed about the structure and the location of the heart. So children, I told you about the location, that it is located in between the chest cavity. It is triangular in shape and it is in the shape of either it is in the size of our fist. This is all that we discussed in the last period. Today we will be talking about the structure that we have already talked of, but we will be seeing how the four-chamber heart is having the chambers that are there. So here I will tell you we have got four chambers, two atriums at the top and two ventricles at the bottom. So here you can see, here we have the right atrium, this is the second, the left atrium, this is the third, left ventricle, and this is the fourth, right ventricle. So this is how our heart is divided up into four chambers. Here you can see this is a thick wall which is your septum. Here you can see again that it is covered by a muscular wall which is of two layers and which we said it was the pericardium. Here we have two types of the aorta. Here you can see this is the aorta and here you have the pulmonary veins. So these are some of the structures which are present within the heart, and this helps us to see the structure of the atriums and the ventricles that are located within the heart. Now, when we talk of the functioning of the heart, we say it continuously beats. That is, the rhythmic beating of the various chambers of the heart maintains the circulation of the blood and the transportation of the substances to the different parts of the body. If our heart doesn't beat, if it doesn't contracts and expands, there will be no circulation of the blood and the transportation of the substances will not take place. So, we are starting with the functioning of the circulatory system. Blood flows from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart, from where it is pumped to the rest of the body. As you have already studied, within the lungs, this deoxygenated blood goes and gets converted into oxygenated blood. So for this, it is going to the lungs. Otherwise, the pumping, if it goes for, it takes place within the heart. So heart is the main structure for our circulatory system. Here within the figure, again you can see how from the lungs, the heart, getting the blood, and from the heart, how it goes to the different parts, either the different chambers of the heart, and then it is carried to the different parts of the body. So we are going to start up with the functioning of the heart. The heart, which functions as a double pump, when you run for some time, or you do some exercise, your heart beats very fast. This is because at that time your body requires more of the oxygen and more of the energy. And this we have already studied in the chapter respiration. Now, to supply more oxygen, the blood flows faster. The impure blood, that means the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide, it from the veins it flows into the right atrium of the heart. From here the blood enters the right ventricle. So here you can see from the lungs the blood comes to the left atrium. That means it comes to the left atrium and then it goes to the left ventricle. This is your oxygenated blood which comes to the pulmonary veins. As I said, pulmonary veins, they carry the oxygenated blood, and your pulmonary arteries, they carry the deoxygenated blood. So this blood from the left atrium, it comes to the left ventricle. So this is how the flow of the blood takes place from the lungs. Now the impure blood is transported from the right ventricle to the lungs by the pulmonary arteries. So here the blood, it goes from here, then it is carried to the lungs. Okay, so this is how it goes on, and it goes into the lungs again. The deoxygenated blood here we are talking about. So this is how the gaseous exchange takes place within the lungs. The blood which gives off carbon dioxide and it takes into it the oxygen. The oxygen rich blood is carried to the left atrium, and here it is carried through the pulmonary arteries that I said, and pulmonary veins, and from here the blood flows through an opening into the left ventricle. So here it is an opening through which it comes down. Now the left ventricle, it will pump the oxygen rich blood to each and every part of the body through the aorta. The aorta is said to be the largest artery within the body. The oxygen is then used up and the cells produce carbon dioxide. The blood now takes in this carbon dioxide and returns to the right ventricle. That means this blood comes to the right ventricle, and from the right ventricle it is pumped into the right auricle, and from here it is transported, it is pumped to the lungs. So this is how the functioning of the blood takes place, either how the heart works, how the heart functions, how the blood is pumped from the heart, from the lungs to the heart, and then to the body, and then again back to the lungs. Here again you can see diagrammatically over here that from the lungs the blood is coming through the pulmonary veins into the heart, through the left atrium first, then into the left ventricle, and then to the digestive tract, then to the various parts of the body. And then from the cells, the deoxygenated blood is carried to the right ventricle, from the right ventricle to the right atrium, and then through the pulmonary artery it is brought back to the lungs. So this is how the transport of oxygenated blood and the deoxygenated blood takes place to each and every part of the body. In the same way, it is carried to the brain, either to the head region also. So this is how the arteries and the veins, they help in the transportation of the blood. After the functioning of the heart, we have the other topic, that is the heartbeat. Heartbeat, as we have already studied about the pulse rate, so heartbeat is similar to that of the pulse rate. The walls of the chamber of the heart, which are made up of the muscles, these muscles, they contract and relax rhythmically. This rhythmic contraction and the relaxation constitute and forms the heartbeat. The heartbeat continuously, as I said, the heart keeps on pumping continuously till we are alive. So we can feel it with our hand on the left side of our chest. This is we are talking of because of the location of the heart. So that is why it is said you can feel the heartbeat when you keep your your hand on the left side of your chest. This is an instrument to feel your heartbeat, and that instrument is said to be the stethoscope. Stethoscope has got three parts. One is the diaphragm. Here you can see. The other one is the earpiece. And in between it has got a tube which connects both these parts. So here we can say the stethoscope is consisting of the three parts. It is a device to amplify the sound of the heart, with the help of which doctor gets the clues about the condition of your heart and when he is listening through it. We just now talked about the three parts. One is your diaphragm, the two earpiece that it has got, and a tube which connects the parts. So each heartbeat that is generated has one pulse within the arteries, and the pulse rate per minute indicates the rate of the heartbeat. As I said, a normal person is having an average of 70 to 72 times of per minute of the relaxation and the contraction of the chambers of the heart. This rhythmic beating of the various chambers of the heart maintains the blood circulation, as I said, and it helps in carrying the blood to the different parts of the body. So children, we studied about the heart, its function, we talked about the heartbeat, and also we talked about the instrument carried by the doctor, that is your stethoscope. So I hope it is clear. So questions for you as a home assignment. First, to describe the function of the heart. Second one, which instrument is used by the doctor for listening the heartbeat, and you have to explain about it. Thank you. Hope you have understood. Take care.